Have you ever noticed that right before your life changes for the better, everything seems to fall apart? The people, the plans, the peace, it all feels like it's slipping away. But what if that's not destruction? What if that's divine construction? When God is preparing you for something greater, the first sign is discomfort. You start to feel this deep restlessness, a quiet whisper that the life you're living no longer fits who you're becoming. The job you once loved feels too small. The relationships that once filled you now feel empty. You can't explain it, but something in your spirit starts to ache for more. And here's the truth, that ache is holy. It's not punishment, it's preparation. God shakes your comfort zone not to break you, but to wake you, to peel away every layer of safety you've built around your heart so that your soul can breathe again. The people who walk away, the plans that collapse, the moments that sting, they are not signs of rejection, but signs of redirection. In those moments of uncertainty, it's easy to question everything, your worth, your faith, your purpose. But I want you to remember this: God never creates growth in the soil of comfort. He plants you in discomfort because he knows it's where you'll stretch, reach, and rise. So when it hurts, when you feel lost, when everything you thought was stable starts to shift, don't panic, pause. Because what feels like an ending is often the divine beginning. You're not being buried, you're being planted. And the soil that feels heavy today will soon grow your destiny. Have you ever found yourself surrounded by people, yet feeling utterly unseen? You start to notice that conversations feel shallow, connections fade, and suddenly you're standing alone in a crowd. It's not that you've changed overnight. It's that your spirit has outgrown your surroundings. When God is preparing you for something greater, he often pulls you into isolation, not because he's punishing you, because he's positioning you. He separates you from the noise so you can finally hear his voice. At first, it feels cruel. You'll ask, why is everyone leaving? Why am I suddenly invisible? But what if God is saying, I needed you to myself? You see, isolation is not abandonment. It's alignment. It's where God strips away the false identities you built to be accepted, the masks you wore to feel loved, the roles you played to feel enough. Alone with him, you start to remember who you really are, not who the world told you to be, but who he created you to be. There's something sacred about the silence. It's where your fears rise, but so does your faith. It's where your heart breaks, but so does the dependence on anything that was never meant to sustain you. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop fighting the isolation and start embracing it, the transformation begins. You realize that loneliness was never the enemy. It was the cocoon. When everything familiar falls away, it's not because God forgot you. It's because he's rebuilding you in secret, in silence, in solitude. So if you feel like you're in a season where no one understands you, take heart. You're not being left behind. You're being set apart. There comes a moment right before the blessing when life feels like it's spinning out of control. Everything that could go wrong does. The calm you prayed for turns into chaos. The plans you trusted crumble right in front of you, and you think, God, why now? But here's the truth: most people never tell you storms are sacred. They don't come to destroy you. They come to reveal you. When God is preparing you for something greater, he will test the foundation you've built your faith on. Because before he raises you higher, he has to make sure your roots are deep enough to handle the weight of the blessing. You see, anyone can worship when the sky is clear. But real faith, the kind that moves mountains, is forged when the winds rage and the rain doesn't stop. It's in the storm that you learn how to trust without proof, how to hope without evidence, how to believe without seeing. Every disappointment, every closed door, every unexpected delay, it's not random, it's refinement. The storm teaches you what peace really is, not the absence of trouble, but the presence of strength within it. And maybe you've been crying, asking God, why are you letting this happen to me? But what if the storm isn't against you? What if it's for you? What if it's the training ground for the very thing you've been praying for? Because the truth is, the storm doesn't mean you're losing. It means you're being strengthened for what's next. So don't curse the wind. Don't fear the rain. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. And when the storm passes, you'll realize something powerful. You didn't just survive it. You were transformed by it. Those moments when doors slam shut, that you beg God to keep open, the job that slipped away, the friendship that faded, the opportunity that disappeared right when it felt within reach. You replay it over and over in your head, whispering, why would God take this from me? But here's what most of us forget. Sometimes God closes doors not to punish you, but to protect you. When he's preparing you for something greater, or he will not let you settle in places that can't hold your purpose. He will remove what you thought you needed to show you what you truly deserve. It hurts, doesn't it? Because we cling to what's familiar. We crave what feels safe. But God's love is not the kind that lets you stay small. He will disrupt your plans to realign your destiny. He will block your comfort so you can step into your calling. And in that moment, It feels like rejection, but when you zoom out, when time passes and healing happens, you start to see the divine fingerprints. You start to realize that every no was saving you from something that would have broken your spirit. Sometimes the blessing is not in what God gives, but in what he takes away. If you're in a season of closed doors, stop chasing what walked away. There is a reason it ended. There is protection in that silence. There is purpose in that pause. So instead of begging for that old chapter to reopen, lift your eyes. Because when God shuts one door, it's never to leave you out in the cold. It's to redirect you towards something far greater than what you asked for. The closing door isn't your ending. It's your turning point. There comes a time when your soul starts to whisper, there has to be more than this. You can't explain it. Your life looks fine from the outside. You're doing everything right. You've checked all the boxes, but deep down something feels off. Your heart feels unsettled. You wake up with that quiet restlessness, that sacred discomfort that won't let you rest where you used to feel safe. That, my friend, is not confusion. It's divine agitation. It's God stirring your spirit because you've outgrown the version of yourself you used to be. When God is preparing you for something greater, he allows his holy unease to rise within you. It's his way of saying, it's time to move, it's time to grow, it's time to become. At first, you'll try to silence it. You'll distract yourself with business, people, noise. But no matter what you do, that feeling doesn't leave because it's not meant to. It's an invitation. Restlessness is heaven's way of calling you out of the ordinary and into the extraordinary. It's the friction between who you are and who you're meant to be. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Growth always is. But think about it. Butterflies only emerge after the cocoon becomes unbearable. Seeds only break open when the soil becomes tight. You, too, are being stretched for expansion. So if your soul feels unsettled right now, don't drown it out. Listen, lean in. That restlessness is not your enemy. It's your awakening. You're not lost. You're being guided. You're not failing. You're evolving. God is not ignoring you. He's igniting you. And this discomfort you feel, it's simply proof that greater is calling your name. There are moments in life that shatter you, the kind of moments that take your breath away and leave your soul trembling, the loss of someone you loved, the dream that crumbled, the plan that never worked out no matter how hard you prayed. You stand in the ruins of what was asking, why would God let this happen? But what if that heartbreak wasn't to destroy you, but to reshape you? When God is preparing you for something greater, he will sometimes allow certain things to fall apart, not out of cruelty, but out of deep divine care, because he knows that certain blessings can only be born from brokenness. You see, loss has a way of tearing away the illusions we cling to. It exposes what's real, what matters, and who we truly are beneath the layers of strength we pretend to carry. Pain refines us. It burns away pride, softens our hearts, and makes space for grace. And while it hurts so deeply, loss also births wisdom. It teaches you compassion for others who bleed silently. It awakens your empathy. It turns your heart into a vessel big enough to carry the purpose God is waiting for you. You may not see it now, but one day you'll look back on that heartbreak and realize it was holy, that the very thing that broke you was the same thing that built you. So cry if you must, grieve what's gone, but don't believe for a second that it ended there, because God never wastes pain, he transforms it. Your tears are not proof of weakness, they're evidence of rebirth. And when the dust settles, you'll see the version of you that rises from this will be stronger, wiser, and more aligned than ever before. You didn't lose. You became. There's nothing harder than waiting when your heart is ready and your faith is tired. You've prayed, worked, hoped, and still nothing moves. The door stays closed. The opportunity doesn't come. The silence stretches so long it starts to sound like rejection. But hear me when I say this, delay is not denial. When God is preparing you for something greater, he will not rush your process, because he's not just building the blessing, he's building you to hold it. You see, we live in a world that worships instant results. We want the promise without the preparation. We want the glory without the growth. But God is not interested in giving you something that your character isn't ready to carry. He's too loving for that. So he slows you down. He stretches your patience. He teaches you how to trust, even when you don't understand. And I know it feels unbearable at times. You watch others getting what you've prayed for. You wonder if you've been forgotten. But what if God is using this pause to prepare the stage behind the scenes? What if he's aligning the right people, the right moment, the right conditions, so that when it finally arrives, it won't slip away? Delays teach you something that success never could. Dependence. You learn to rely not on timing, but on trust. Not on your plan, but on his promise. So the next time life feels still and silent, don't mistake it for stagnation. God is not ignoring you. He's organizing your miracle. And when the time is right, not your time, but his, everything will unfold so seamlessly that you'll realize the waiting wasn't wasted. It was necessary, because divine timing doesn't make sense until it does. And when it does, you'll whisper through your tears, now I understand. There comes a point in your journey where the real work begins, the quiet, unseen, sacred kind of work, the kind that doesn't happen on a stage or in front of applause. It happens in the stillness, behind closed doors, deep within your soul. When God is preparing you for something greater, He doesn't start with the outside, He starts inside you. You begin to notice that your desires shift. What once excited you now feels empty. The validation that once fueled you no longer satisfies. The conversations that once entertained you suddenly feel meaningless. You crave depth, peace, and purpose, and that's how you know God is working within you. This transformation is subtle but powerful. He starts rearranging your priorities, breaking old patterns, healing old wounds, and teaching you to release control. You begin to see that growth isn't always loud. Sometimes it's silent, slow, and sacred. And because no one else can see it, it can feel lonely. People around you might not understand your silence, your distance, your evolution, but that's okay. You're not meant to be understood while you're being remade. You're in the season of becoming. This is where your spirit matures. This is where your heart learns to forgive what once felt unforgivable. This is where you stop chasing what's fleeting and start choosing what's eternal. So don't rush the inner work. Don't resent the quiet seasons. That's where God polishes your purpose. That's where He strengthens your roots so your fruit can last. The world might not notice what's happening in you, but heaven does. And when the time comes for you to step into that greater calling, you'll realize that all along God wasn't changing your circumstances. First, He was changing you. When God is preparing you for something greater, there will come a moment when He places an open door right in front of you, and it won't look easy. It won't come wrapped in comfort or certainty. It will require faith, risk, and courage. This is the test of readiness, because the greater the calling, the greater the leap. You'll feel fear rise in your chest. Doubt will whisper, "You're not qualified. You're not ready. What if you fail?" But that's how you'll know it's divine, because what God calls you to will always be bigger than what you can do alone. Every opportunity from heaven comes disguised as a challenge. It's never meant to flatter your ego. It's meant to strengthen your spirit. And this is where many people turn back. They wait for clarity before they move, but God doesn't give clarity before obedience. He gives clarity through obedience. You won't see the whole staircase. He just asks you to take the first step. Courage is in the absence of fear. It's the decision to move through it. It's trusting that even if you stumble, God will steady your feet. So when that door appears, even if your hands tremble, walk through it. Don't let fear of the unknown keep you tied to what's familiar. The comfort zone may feel safe, but nothing ever grows there. This is the moment you prove your faith isn't just words, it's action, because destiny doesn't wait for perfection. It waits for movement. You've been refined, stretched, and prepared for this exact moment. And when you take that leap, you'll realize something beautiful. God didn't bring you this far to leave you now. Step forward in faith. Your next chapter begins on the other side of courage. There comes a moment, quiet, sacred, undeniable, when it all starts to make sense. The isolation, the heartbreak, the closed doors, the waiting, the storms. You look back and realize none of it was random. Every moment that broke you was shaping you. Every delay that frustrated you was aligning you. Every loss that tore you apart was preparing room for something far greater. Because when God prepares you for something greater, He doesn't just change your circumstances, He transforms your capacity. You don't just receive a blessing, you become one. The pain that once made you question your faith now deepens it. The tears that once felt wasted now water your purpose. The silence that once felt unbearable now becomes your sacred space. You begin to see that God never abandoned you. He was with you in every unseen moment, whispering, "Hold on, I'm building something you can't see yet." And now you understand He wasn't withholding your breakthrough. He was building you to sustain it. You're stronger than you were, softer too, wiser, deeper, and more grounded. You've learned that faith isn't about knowing what's next. It's about trusting who's leading you there. So take a breath. Look at where you stand. You made it through what was meant to break you. And now you're walking in the very strength that was forged in your weakest moments. This is not the end of your story. It's the unveiling of it. The greater you've been prepared for is not somewhere ahead. It's you right here, right now. You are the miracle that was in the making all along. And when you finally see it, you'll whisper through grateful tears every step, every tear, every storm was worth it.